A very good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Primetime News here on TV1. Today is the 8th of January 2024, bringing you the news for the Newsfirst team. I am Jayama Ratnayaka.
And I am Rochelle Thamodara. Let's first take a look at the headlines for tonight.
Sajith goes to Supreme Court challenging CEB's disconnection practices and urges relief measures for affected consumers. Navy ready for deployment of vessels to secure Red Sea by order of the President. Court issues injunction against Dayasiri Jayasekara. Former Presidents Maithripala and CBK at the Bandaranayaka commemoration. 2024 electoral list revision work commences. Human Rights Commission to question conduct of Operation Yuktiya.
In your top story for tonight, leader of the opposition Sajith Premadasa filed a fundamental rights petition to the Supreme Court today, challenging the Ceylon Electricity Board's tariff hike and its practice of disconnecting the supply of electricity to consumers. The petition named the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, the CEB Head Office, Power and Energy Minister, the Power and Energy Ministry Secretary and the Attorney General's Department as respondents.
The opposition leader filed the petition to the Supreme Court today, claiming a violation of quote-unquote doctrine of public trust. The petition notes that whilst the estimated hydropower generation was for 3,750 gigawatt-hours, the actual generation by the end of the year was 4,510 gigawatt-hours, and with electricity demand also dropping, the Ceylon Electricity Board has generated a profit of over 26 billion rupees. The petition noted that further, due to the increase in electricity tariff by 18%, the Ceylon Electricity Board generated a profit approximately of 26 billion rupees. The petition states that it is undeniable that the respondents made the 52 billion rupees at the expense of the frail Sri Lankan taxpayer and had acted in a manner infringing the fundamental rights of the public.
Through this fundamental rights petition, we intend to obtain an order from the Supreme Court directing the PUCSL to call for a reduction in the electricity tariff with a view of protecting the rights of all electricity consumers and to offer them some sort of redress. Even at a time it is making profits in billions, the CEB has taken action in recent times to disconnect power supply to over 800,000 consumers. We very clearly state that practice must end immediately and the price of 1 unit of electricity must be reduced through the 52 billion in profit. A new price formula for the destitute is also essential. We are surprised as to how the ministry and the CEB, who are unaware of even the real statistics concerning electricity users in the country, are attempting to pass new laws. I wish to advise the minister, do not follow Hitler, follow Mahatma Gandhi instead.
At President Ranil Wickremesinghes' behest, the Sri Lanka Navy is preparing to send ships to the Red Sea and surrounding waters. Sri Lanka Navy spokesperson Captain Ranil Wickremesinghes said that the deployment will be in support of Operation Prosperity Guardian, a US-led initiative aimed at combating Houthi rebel activity in Yemen.
While no specific date has been announced, Sri Lanka Navy spokesperson Captain Ranil Wickremesinghes confirmed they are making arrangements for the deployment of vessels to the Red Sea. Operation Prosperity Guardian covers a wider area than just the Red Sea, encompassing the Arabian Sea and the Gulf of Oman. India has already deployed 6 warships as part of this initiative. On the 3rd of January, speaking in Colombo, Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghes revealed the country's decision to join international efforts against the Houthis in Yemen and announced the deployment of a Sri Lanka Navy ship to the Red Sea. The Sri Lanka Navy, acting on that order, commenced the preparation of vessels for deployment. Houthi rebels demanding an end to Israeli attacks on Palestine have launched drone and missile attacks on ships in the Red Sea, prompting vessels to bypass the route and sail around Africa. This has created a crisis in the commercial shipping sector, necessitating international cooperation to ensure maritime security. At the same time, Indian naval ship INS Khabra, arrived at the port of Colombo on a formal visit this morning. INS Khabra is a 50-meter-long water jet fast attack craft which is manned by a crew of 55.
Sri Lanka's Election Commission has launched a nationwide drive for accurate voter records.
Sri Lanka's Election Commission has officially commenced the crucial process of revising the 2024 voter list for the upcoming elections. The Election Commission in a statement said that the relevant officials are being given instructions on revising the voter list. It added that extensive training sessions have been conducted for Grama Niladhari officials. From the 1st of January to the 29th of February, the officials will be conducting door-to-door visits across Sri Lanka to count eligible voters. The Election Commission said that the relevant voter counting forms will be collected by election officers from the 15th of February to the 22nd of March. President Ranil Wickremesinghes' recent visit to the northern province has sparked discussions amidst growing speculation about upcoming presidential and general elections. The 4-day trip saw the president engaging with diverse groups, including religious leaders, academics, civil society organizations, and business representatives, leaving a trail of promises. What points did the president agree on during his visit to the north? Completing resettlement of displaced people in Jaffna and Kilinochchi within the next year. Prompt resolution to the missing persons issue. Reaching a final decision on land required for the Palali airport and security forces by February. Expediting the return of land to original owners. Finding solutions for temple and church lands under military control. Exploring the possibility of building a temple bigger than the Nallur temple in Jaffna. Selling surplus electricity generated in the Vanni region to India. Asserting that the 13th Amendment powers are sufficient to uplift the economy at the provincial level. Clarifying preparations for establishing a land route from Mannar to India, connecting South India and Sri Lanka. Resettlement of Muslim people displaced from Jaffna due to the war. Providing services to South India through the development of the Colombo and Trincomalee ports. Following President Wickremesinghes' visit to the north, diverse political parties offered individual reactions to his key commitments, adding a new layer to the ongoing discussions about election preparations.
The Tamil National Alliance, the prominent political coalition representing Sri Lanka's Tamil community, has undergone a significant split. The Ilankai Tamil Arasu Katchi, a key member of the alliance, has chosen to operate independently, leaving the other three parties, EPRLF, PLOTE and TELO, to function as a separate alliance. ITAK MP Shanakyan Rasamanikam commented on the promises made by the president during his visit to the north.
The president went to the north and had ice cream, extended wishes to Kilmisha and Tirunage. That's good. However, why is the president delaying providing solutions to the Tamil people's issues? If he was genuinely interested in the Tamil people's political issues, he should have given a solution, but that is not the case. We suspect that the provision of these solutions is delayed, targeting votes and elections.
This was the response of Suresh Premachandran, the leader of the EPRLF party that broke away from the Tamil National Alliance.
He says that the powers vested upon by the 13th Amendment are sufficient for the economic development of the northern province. It is a joke that the person who says that 13th Amendment is sufficient for the development of the northern province without an election, in a background where provincial councils are not functioning. He has only uttered words. He said that he will release the lands, but that did not take place either.
மாகாணத்துக்கு பேசப்பட்டது, காணிகள் விடுவிக்கப்படும் என்று பேசப்பட்டது. ஆனால் காணிகள் விடுவிக்கப்படவில்லை.
MP Dallas Alahaa Peruma, a leading opposition figure, has called for a unified front against the ruling government. Noting that such an alliance is necessary to defeat the government's program against the people, Alahaa Peruma acknowledged that negotiations to form such an alliance have been unsuccessful so far. Alahaa Peruma, who contested the recent presidential election in Parliament against incumbent Ranil Wickremesinghes, made the remarks at the headquarters of the Freedom People's Congress. The Freedom People's Congress was formed by 13 MPs who split from the SLPP, including Dallas Alahaa Peruma, Professor G.L. Piris, Professor Charita Herath and Dr. Nalaka Godaheva. So far, several of these independent MPs, including Professor G.L. Piris and Nalaka Godheva, have pledged their support to the Samaki Jana Sandhanaya. MP Dallas Alahaa was joined by MP Gunapala Ratnasekara at today's press conference.
Throughout the past 8 months, we tried to form this bridge by holding discussion with the parties of the opposition. Unfortunately, it was a failure compared to our objectives. I am responsibly stating that we have not given up. Yesterday, I saw in a television channel that one person was mentioning Ranil Wickremesinghes will be defeated without condition. Ranil Wickremesinghes' political agenda must be defeated. There is no argument on that among us. It must be defeated. But how can that be done? We have to introduce an alternative program against the political agenda of the group that joined Ranil Wickremesinghe. That alternative program has to win. This is not for positions or future investments in government. We must ensure that the alternative program wins. The entire country now knows that the decisions of the country, the future of the country and the future of the children of the country are taken by two people who are not even in parliament. One person's name starts with the letter R and the other person's surname starts with the letter R. These two R's are the ones who are taking decisions on the future of the country. These two are making attempts to reverse everything. We need a political program to stop that.
මම දැක්ක නැත්නම් මාධ්‍යවල පුවත්පත් ඒක එතුමාගේ පුදුලික මතය වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකට අයිතියක් තියෙනවනේ. නේද එහෙම කොහොමද කියන්නේ ඔබ? ඒක මම කියන කරුණා කළා ඒක එතුමාගෙන් අහන්න. එතුමාගෙන් අහන්න. ඉදිරි මැතිවරණයකදී තමන්
If he has no control in the next elections, he may take some decisions to preserve his position as a member of parliament. We have given that freedom. We haven't prevented anyone from doing so. If someone believes that they can achieve a position in parliament by joining a particular party, they can do that. But we are still with the Freedom People's Congress. You have never seen us at a press conference of another party. So we are still with the Freedom People's Congress and we are MPs of the SLPP.
SLPP MP Nama Rajapaksa says that MP Dallas Alahaa is a member that should remain in SLPP.
I don't know. He made a political decision. He has the right to make a political decision. I still believe that Dallas Alahaa is a member that belongs to our camp. So I personally believe that we can still hold discussions with him and come to an understanding on a certain work plan. It is not the opinion of the party. It is neither his opinion nor the party's. This is my opinion. We are ready to hold discussions with G.L. Piris too, but he has joined opposition leader Sajith Premadasa at the moment. He has to make a decision whether it is going to be a short-term or long-term relationship. No one from our party, me or former President Mahinda Rajapaksa hold any grudges against him. We personally have a lot of respect for him.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party held a critical meeting today, bringing together both the Central Committee and the Executive Council. The session has fueled speculation regarding internal discussions about the party defections and the position of the party's General Secretary.
මධ්‍යම කාර්ය සභාවේ තීන්දුවක් ගත්තා එක්සත් ජනතා නිදහස් සන්ධානයේ ප්‍රතිසංවිධානය කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්. ඒ අනුව ඉදිරි දවස් දෙක තුන තුල රටට අපි ඊටාම සුබවාදී ආරංචියක් තොරතුරක් දෙනවා. ඒක විශේෂ දෙයක්ද? ඊටා විශේෂයි. ඔබතුමාලත් එක්ක හිටපු පිරිස දෙපැත්තට කට්ටියක් UMP එකට යනවා කට්ටියක් සමගියට යනවා. නෑ ඔබ මේ ලංකාවේ අතීය වෙච්චද ඔබ? දැන් මේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? පත්‍රිකා මැඩම්ලා දෙනවා සභාපතිතුමන්ට මේකද? එහෙම කතාවක් ඇහුණා. නෑ අපි කවුරුත් තමයි ඉතින් තෝරලා මේක
එහෙම තමයි දේශපාලනය කියන්නේ එහෙමනේ දේශපාලනය පෙරලෙනවා නැගිටිනවා එහෙම වෙනවා හැබැයි වැඩිකල් යන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ විදියට മന്ത്രിවරු පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ නැති වෙයි හැබැයි සමස්තයක් විදියට රටේ ජනතාව එකට නෙමෙයි.
The Colombo Chief District Judge Sandun Vitanage issued an order against MP Dayasri Jayasekara which prohibits him from obstructing or interfering with the work of Sarathi Dushmanta Maithripala, the acting General Secretary of the SLFP. The decision came when a petition filed by SLFP Chairman Maithripala Sirasa and the acting General Secretary of the SLFP was taken up for consideration. The order will remain in effect until the 22nd of January.
Former presidents Maithripala Sirasa and Chandrika Kumaratunga, both prominent figures in Sri Lankan politics, joined a ceremony commemorating the 125th birth anniversary of the late SWRD Bandanayake, the founder of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. The event took place opposite the Bandanayake Memorial located at Galle Face.
मैडम मैं बंडारनायक प्रतिपत्ति ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවද मैडम සංජෝදනි පාරදා සංජෝදනි පාරදා प्लीज මට යන්න දෙන්න.
Journalists questioned former President Maithripala Sirasa regarding the incident in Colombo.
නෑ නෑ එහෙම විශේෂ එතන ඉතින් ඒ යෝජනා කතා කරන වෙලාවක් නෙවෙයිනේ සමරුව වෙලාවනේ අපි සාමාන්‍ය විදිහට ආයුවන් කියලා ඔය මේ නිකන් තොරතුරු කතා කළා. ඒ රෙන්ඩ එතන කතා කරන්න වෙලාවකුත් නෑ. නෑ නෑ එතුමිය ගැන අපිට කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි හම්බ වෙනවා කතා කරනවා මේ ඒ ගැන මොකුත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ.
Lasantha Wickrematunge. 15 years have passed since the brutal assassination of Wickrematunge, a fearless journalist who wielded his pen against corruption and injustice in Sri Lanka. Yet, the chilling mystery of his murder remains unsolved. Promises made during political changes simply remain as empty promises to date. On the 6th of January 2009, the MTV MBC media network's the Panama broadcast station was attacked and destroyed by an armed gang. And just 2 days later, Wickrematunge, the fearless editor, was gunned down on his way to work by armed assailants, silencing him forever. On the 8th of January 2009, while on his way to work, at approximately 10:25 am, 2 armed men on a motorcycle stole the life of Lasantha Wickrematunge right opposite the Attadiya Model Primary School. The brazen attack sent shockwaves through the nation and the international community. 15 years after the assassination, a cloud of unresolved questions and unserved justice continues to hang heavy as perpetrators and those who gave the order, who still remain at large, have never faced the full weight of the law. Despite the long passage of time, a renewed investigation offers fresh avenues to uncover the truth and bring Lasantha's killers to justice. The killers of Lasantha Wickrematunge, who silenced his pen with brutal impunity, remain at large. Meanwhile, justice languishes in the shadows, while suspects once apprehended have walked free. Doesn't the ongoing injustice in Lasantha's case cast a long shadow over the very rights he championed? 15 years later, we are still asking when justice will be served for Lasantha Wickrematunge.
On a somber note, a special program was held at Borella Cemetery to commemorate the life and legacy of Lasantha Wickrematunge. The program was attended by Wickrematunge's family and close friends.
First, and our spirit shall sorrow.
When will justice be served to journalists who are victims of violence in this country? The person who voiced justice for journalists during the reign of the Yahapalanaya government is today the head of state. This message is to him. When will you deliver justice to your friend? Wake up now. This January, your duty and responsibility is to deliver justice to the slain, the missing journalists.
Sirasa was attacked just days before Lasantha was assassinated. They speak of justice, but was justice delivered to Lasantha? The way we see it, the case is closed. But the Attorney General should bring a resolution to this. When Ranil Wickremesinghes was in the opposition, he did many things for Lasantha. Has he forgotten all of that? Has he forgotten what Lasantha Wickrematunge also did for him? Power is not something that can be wielded as one pleases. President Ranil Wickremesinghes, it is something that should be used for the betterment of the people.
This is a killing done
done because of the service rendered to the country. It is disappointing that no legal solution was given. All our friends are here and we pray for a speedy legal solution to this matter.
It's 15 years and justice has not been meted out. We all know that the investigation is near complete, but it is so not concluded purely because there is no political will. People talk of the need for system change. I ask the rulers first, are you prepared to change? Without that, there will be no system change. Dasanta's case is an emblematic one. Some do ask me, do you think this country would have reached this stage if Lasantha lived? I know the answer. Lasantha would never have been allowed to live. So that question cannot be answered. There was no political will to keep Lasantha alive.
In a poignant display of solidarity, journalists from across the eastern province gathered this morning for a memorial program honouring the slain journalist Lasantha Wickremesinghes. Held near the Journalists' Memorial in Batticaloa, the event was organised by the Easters Journalists Association and the Batticaloa Journalists Association.
The Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka has expressed grave concerns over Operation Yuktya, the ongoing anti-narcotics drive that has seen over 20,000 people arrested within 2 weeks.
The Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka said, quote, "It is disturbed to learn of reports of cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment of persons, including young persons, during search operations conducted by the police," unquote. The Commission notes that the continued implementation of the Yuktya operation with the professed objective of advancing justice remains incongruous given the systemic failure of law enforcement authorities in Sri Lanka to uphold justice and to respect the fundamental rights of the people. The Commission warned, quote, "The Constitution guarantees to every person the freedom from arbitrary arrest and detention, the right not to be deprived of liberty except on the order of a judge, the right to a fair trial, and the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, respectively. The overzealous arrest and detention of persons, the seizure and destruction of private property, and the forced search of persons and premises under the guise of combating drug trafficking and organized crime risk the systematic infringement of these fundamental rights across the country." The HRCSL further noted that the spate of arrests and detentions under Yuktya will no doubt exacerbate the problem of overcrowding of prisons.
In just 22 days since the launch of the Operation Yuktya on the 17th of December, Sri Lankan authorities have apprehended a total of 29,475 suspects with 955 individuals detained over the past 24 hours alone. 1,473 suspects are held under detention orders.
Maithripala police arrested a government employee in the Vavahamanduwa area as part of the ongoing Yuktya operation. The individual was found possessing a staggering 90 packets of heroin meticulously disguised within the suspect's fish trade material. The acting Inspector General of Police conducted a first-hand inspection of assets seized by the Police Illegal Assets Investigation Unit earlier today. 5 recovered vehicles valued at a staggering 61 million rupees as well as land and houses estimated to be worth 45 million rupees are believed to be part of the illegal accumulation of wealth targeted by the operation. The combined value of all seized assets, including vehicles, land and houses, stands at a significant 106 million rupees.
The arrests made during the weekend are the result of investigations that took place over several years. We have targeted several investigations today. They had fled their houses and concealed their vehicles. Some lands have been vacated. This means that the operation is successful. We will take action to legally dismantle all of those activities.
The Payagala police launched a comprehensive inspection program targeting long-distance buses plying from the southern province to Colombo along the Galle-Colombo main road. The operation took place at the Payagala junction and North Payagala, mobilizing nearly 50 security personnel from various units. The inspection team comprised of officers from the Payagala police, the Kalutara traffic division, the special task force personnel from the Katukurunda camp and a unique addition, Romi, the official K9 unit of the Sri Lanka Police College in Kalutara.
Parliament is set to resume its session tomorrow morning. 9 bills, including the anti-terrorism bill, are slated for presentation. Further adding to the legislative agenda, the draft online safety bill is expected to be submitted to Parliament on the 23rd of January.
The upcoming legislative session in Sri Lanka's parliament is facing additional scrutiny as concerns mount regarding potential restrictions on fundamental rights. There is discussion about reintroducing the online safety bill and the anti-terrorism bill. Freedom of expression is a democratic right of the people. They are trying to lay a hand on this right. In addition, there is an attempt to control social media usage. In recent days, what happened following the CEB trade union action? A circular was issued to the CEB employees with regard to social media usage. The online safety bill is something that goes beyond that. The UN has also said that this violates the fundamentals of democracy. That is why we are against this. All the trade unions are against the crackdown on dissent committed by Ranil Rajapaksa. We oppose these moves. The Young Journalists Association expressed these views. Ranil Wickremesinghes is afraid because this is an election year, and in this election year the people are posting content against him online. The aim here is to control that. The anti-terrorism bill and the broadcast regulatory authority bill are slated to be presented to Parliament. In addition, the online safety bill targeting social media usage is to be presented. As a country, we need to oppose this and defeat it. This is an election year, and we will monitor all the public representatives who support these bills. We will engage in a massive campaign to defeat these attempts. MP Uday Gammanpilla expressed the following views. As a person who has been subjected to social media harassment via false propaganda, I see that social media needs to be regulated. Irresponsible use of social media paves the way for false information to spread and also to sling mud. Social media must be regulated. However, there are certain flaws in this legislation. We have pointed it out to the government. Social media regulation means regulating one's right to express. It needs to be done carefully.
සමාජ මාධ්‍ය නියාමනය කිරීම කියන්නේ කෙලින්ම අදහස් ප්‍රකාශ කිරීමේ අයිතිය නියාමනය. ඒක ප්‍රවේශමෙන් කළ යුතු දෙයක්.
The SLPP commands a majority in the government and therefore will they support this. We are discussing this at length. We believe there needs to be regulation. We need to protect the privacy of the people. We do not take note of what is said about politicians on social media. However, it is not fair. We are patient. Therefore, we call for regulations.
We must seriously check if they are clothed when presenting these. They speak of AI, robotics and developing IT. They boast of e-governance and providing free Wi-Fi through balloons. The very people who promoted such initiatives are now attempting to stifle a mere status update being posted by people on social media. That is why all these laws are being brought. What they should remember is, the last time they attempted to present this in Parliament, this bill was challenged in court, and even court confirmed that many of its clauses are inconsistent with the Constitution. Against such a backdrop, the fact that they are still attempting to present the same bill goes on to show that they have no shame or an understanding of society. This is nothing but suppression to cling on to power.
Japan has restated the importance of early completion of signing of a memorandum of understanding between Sri Lanka and creditor nations on debt restructuring after an agreement was reached in principle late last year.
Japan has called for the swift signing of a memorandum of understanding between Sri Lanka and its creditor nations. This comes after an agreement in principle was reached in November 2023, covering roughly $5.9 billion of Sri Lanka's debt. Japan, alongside France and India, co-chairs the Official Creditor Committee, or the OCC, representing 15 of Sri Lanka's creditor nations. However, transparency and comparability in agreements with non-OCC creditors like China, Sri Lanka's largest bilateral creditor, remain a concern.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you and good night.